Hi everyone, my name is Irene. I'm here today to present our work, Tabletop Games in the Age of Remote Collaboration, Design Opportunities for Socially Connected Game Experience. In early 2020, the coronavirus disease spread rapidly and then caused a global pandemic. To prevent further spread of the virus, countries worldwide imposed social distancing rules to limit in-person gatherings. Tabletop gaming activities, such as board game night, which is a common social practice among family and friends, is also affected. So how do people manage to move their offline tabletop gaming sessions online to stay connected with their friends and families during the quarantine time? And what is the impact of technology usage on their game and social experiences? To answer our research questions, we took a qualitative approach. We started with observing people in tabletop game-related online communities to learn how people adapt their offline practice to play online. We also conducted interviews with people who frequently play tabletop games remotely with their friends and families during the quarantine time to understand the considerations behind their practice. Our data reveal three categories of themes that describe people's social and game experiences when moving to remote tabletop gaming setup. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about two of these insights and the design opportunities these insights revealed. When moving to remote tabletop gaming setup, we found people often attempting to preserve the physical setup with a hybrid approach for sharing the game space. People chose a hybrid setup because they wanted to utilize their physical copies of the games, or wanted to continue the game sessions they started before the quarantine time. In the hybrid setup, we found people often utilize a diverse range of physical components, from sharing the entire game board and the assets to share some smaller physical game pieces. For example, in the mirrored setup, each player will have their own physical board set up and then shared. During the game, they will manipulate their board based on other players' actions as well as their own actions. Another common hybrid setup is that one player, who is often referred as the game master, will set up a physical board and then share with other players, often using a phone camera mounted on a stand to capture the entire board. The player with the physical board is also in charge of manipulating the board as other players verbally communicate their actions. However, in such setup, many tasks, such as keeping track of different people's actions, the state of the board, and then game rules, become more of the game master's responsibility rather than shared responsibility among players. As one of our participants commented, setting up and then running everything on himself can be overwhelming and make him feel like work rather than an enjoyable game experience. When people play tabletop games remotely and then interact with other people online, their attention and engagement also change. As one participant commented, when playing online, it is more difficult to find things for his attention to grab onto, and people were mostly just talking back and forth. So he would easily lose engagement with the game session. Besides, people tend to be more impatient compared to playing offline, as they are more conscious with time, which makes the game session get boring easily when the perceived waiting time feels too long. To adapt to such changes, some community members suggested simplify the game rules so the game becomes easier to win, to keep the game engaging when moving from offline to online play. Our findings on how people adapt their offline practice to remote play also highlights opportunities for technologies to better support people's remote game and their social experience. As physicality and materiality plays an important role in people's tabletop game experience, we think there are opportunities in connecting shared tabletop game space and then supporting connected tangible game pieces for better game experience. And to consider for people's changed attention and engagement from offline to online play, tabletop game platforms should also allow customization for better social experience with family and friends, rather than focus on enforcing game rules for remote game sessions. You can read more about our other findings and discussions in our paper. Thank you for watching our presentation.